I'd like you to picture this scenario. I'm walking on stage to give a demonstration. I've got about 150 people in the room. It's a user group meeting, and it's my first opportunity as one of the newest sales engineers on the team to give a demonstration before a large audience. I'm confident, I'm an expert in my field, and I love speaking to audiences, and I'm very good in front of a room. I get up there and I masterfully navigate through the demo from screen to screen, from key point to key point. I didn't get tripped up on any words. I didn't stutter. I don't even think I said the word once. 20 minutes of sheer brilliance, at least so I thought. After the event, I found myself in the elevator with one of the sales leaders. In fact, he was someone that I had not really gotten to know very well. I'd had maybe a couple meetings with him, and it was just the two of us in the elevator. Because he and I didn't know each other very, very well, there really wasn't a lot of conversation. So I sort of broke the silence by asking him, "So what did you think of the event?" Without turning my way, he sort of shrugged and said it was okay. I felt like I hadn't done a very good job of getting him to open up, so I figured I'd try one more time. I asked him, "What did you think of my presentation?" Being certain that he was going to tell me how wonderful my presentation, my demonstration was. With this, he turns to me and says, "Honestly, Chris, I'm not sure anybody in that room had any idea what you were talking about." He could not have surprised me more had he turned and dumped a bucket of ice water on me. My name's Chris White, the author of The 6 Habits of Highly Effective Sales Engineers and founder of DemoDoctor.com, a website dedicated to the growth and development of technical pre-sales professionals. When I first got into the role of sales engineering, I thought I was going to be brilliant because I could move a mouse and talk at the same time. What I discovered was that there's a lot more to the role of sales engineer than being good in front of an audience. When I first heard the term sales process, I had no idea what the individual was talking about. The idea of sale and process being in the same sentence was completely and totally foreign to me. There's a process to this thing called sales. I just thought we sort of showed up, said what we had to say, did what we had to do, and if we were smart enough and sounded intelligent enough and convincing enough, people bought. It took me a while, and I'm the first to admit that I made some mistakes early on and I took some lumps, but I figured it out. And what I discovered along the way is that there's actually a pattern of behavior. There's a pattern of habits that, if and when followed, produce incredibly good and productive results. Not only that, but when we follow a certain set of habits and behaviors, we're far more satisfied in our job and in our role. As you might guess, those patterns or those habits are the 6 habits that I talked about and wrote about in the book. Allow me to just spend a minute and introduce you to those 6 habits. Habit number 1 is to partner with your sales counterpart. First and foremost, we have to understand that we're in sales and accept that we're in sales. And once we do, we need to accept that our sales counterparts are our partners, and sales is a team sport. The second habit is to probe into any request for a demonstration or engagement. Probe with our sales counterparts, and more specifically, probe with the customer. And what does that mean? It really means it's discovery. It's all around discovery and technical discovery. Habit number 3 is to prepare effectively and efficiently for the demonstrations and presentations that we give. A lot of time can be wasted preparing the wrong things. And in many cases, we focus on the wrong things. We focus too much on the product, the thing, and not enough on the story. Habit number 4 is the easiest in theory, but the hardest in practice. And yes, that's a pun. Habit number 4 is simply to practice. We need to practice our demos before we're in front of a customer, and always practice telling the story. Click every click, as I like to say. We want to make sure we avoid and mitigate or minimize the avoidable mistakes. Habit number 5 is simply to perform. At the end of the day, at some point, the spotlight is on us. And there are very specific things that we need to say and do. And frankly, a number of things that we need to avoid saying and doing when we're in front of the customer. A lot of us in this role came from a post-sales role or a post-sales position. Post-sales and pre-sales are very different. And when we're on stage, which I believe is what it is, a stage in which we're performing for our customer, there's very specific techniques and best practices we need to follow to get the technical win, which I believe is our objective. And then finally, habit number 6 is to consistently and constantly perfect our craft, perfect our demo, perfect our approach, perfect our relationship with our sales counterparts, and just develop the habit of constant improvement. Incidentally, allow me to emphasize a point. I'm not saying we should be striving for the perfect demo. It's not a noun. Perfect is a verb. I believe that achieving sales engineer mastery is something that we're always pursuing. So with that, again, welcome to the DemoDoctor YouTube channel. Throughout the entire series that I hope will last for years, every one of my videos is going to be touching on some aspect of one of these 6 habits. What is sales engineer mastery, and what are the 6 habits of highly effective sales engineers? To partner with sales, to probe into customer inquiries, to prepare with effectiveness and efficiency in mind, to practice before we go into a demo, to perform when we're on stage, and then to consistently perfect our craft. With that, until next week, remember, people buy from people, and sales is a team sport. The best sales engineers develop healthy habits so that they can consistently deliver killer demos. See you next week.